Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. And this week, a collaboration with Alphabet Soup, KBIA's project focused on the experiences of Missouri's LGBTQ+ community. This week we hear from Lydia Bennett. She's a pansexual, polyamorous person, as well as a physician working in emergency medicine. She spoke about how her identity has and hasn't played a role in her work. Here's Lydia.
My identity, I think, first and foremost at this stage of my life is probably resident physician because I, work 50 to 70 hours a week. In just a couple months, I'm going to be attending physician, and so that's going to become hopefully a kind of smaller piece of my life. It's certainly something that's important to me, and it means that I need to be representing a semi-professional and accepting and healthy viewpoint at all times, if that makes sense. I am actually interested in advocacy, physician advocacy, and public health advocacy. And so that's a big piece of what I'm doing right now. I think my queerness ties in nicely to that. So when I kind of decided how I was going to represent my, personal identity and my sexual identity at work, it's kind of tough because, it's a very professional field and you're not sitting there talking about your sex life. So it's not something that I ever decided I'm going to come out at work. I did grapple with it a little bit because there are some more traditionalist people in medicine, unfortunately. But the benefit is that medicine has learned to accept people, even if some of the colleagues may have opinions, they know how to keep that to themselves and respect people no matter what. And so that makes it a lot easier to come out. There are probably a lot of people I work with who may not know my personal sexual identity or that I'm polyamorous, but it's just I talk like I normally would. So if I'm talking about partners, I talk about my partners. I talk about my girlfriend and my partner at home who's non-binary. And some people may or may not even catch on that there's a collection of them. I did actually have one nurse who heard me talking to another resident from across the room, was like, "Lydia, are you polyamorous? Are you in a polycule?" And got really excited. And so just, I don't make a big deal of it, but I also don't hide it because it's a nice open environment that they at least have to pretend to support me, if nothing else. I do think that there have been some patients that get the vibe that I am at least queer accepting, if not queer, just when I walk in the room. I do like to wear a little caduceus, the healthcare staff with the snake around it that is rainbow pride. And so I think that they are able to be a little bit more open with me. And there have been a very few occasions when it's come up that my personal experience can help someone who's gone through, something stressful, something potentially traumatic, or something very sensitive, and they need to be able to be open about that in order to be able to take care of them appropriately. And that can be extremely validating and extremely rewarding work. And so what gets me going back is being able to meet people and help people. I mean, that's what I wanted when I went into medicine in the first place.
That was Dr. Lydia Bennett speaking about how their queerness has helped them in the world of emergency medicine. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks, which was reported by Bailey Stover and produced by me. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.